This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Today we have the opportunity to pick the ultimate game room. We're gonna tour the place, try to make some massive deals, and I am super excited. This is like an absolute wonderland of gaming. Let's check it out.
Amazing game room, I want to tell you, we have a website, CaterpieCrew.com. The Caterpie stands for Chase After the Right Price. We get that question a lot. We built it using Squarespace, where we have some cool custom shirts like Caterpie and Caterpie Crew tees. We also developed these cool displays for your controllers and cards in your game room or collection room, with more pieces coming soon. If you're in the realm of selling merchandise, you can design, produce, and ship your items all through Squarespace, saving you time, money, and effort. Their online storefront has been really great to experiment with selling physical products, digital products, and services. Building a site with Squarespace also lets you market yourself a lot better. You can start email campaigns and get great analytics back on how they perform. So head to squarespace.com/CATRP for a free trial and 10% off your first domain or website when you're ready to launch.
I'm here looking at a large PlayStation collection, and we've worked out a deal for nearly all of it. But I'm hoping that with some of the profits from buying the PlayStation stuff, I can make a move on some of these items to add to my collection. Or maybe even make a play for everything else that he has. So I'm super excited to talk about this Nintendo room. It's absolutely incredible, and just the ways that everything are displayed, the ways maximizing the space, it's unbelievable. But we're gonna start over here. This is in the basement, and this is a collector that actually came to my garage sale. That's how we met, and he's a great dude. And he's gonna share some information and stories on how some of this stuff is displayed, on what it is. It's come so far from the last time we were out here. But you can see you got the Tekken 7 arcade. This is beautiful. How'd you get this?
This one I actually built. So this is a custom built arcade machine, a company called Rec Room Masters out of North Carolina. I think they've changed owners, but we did the custom artwork with the Tekken 7, so it's one-of-one out there. And I got a PS3, PS4, and an Xbox in there.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. This is one of your prized possessions, the racing machine. Looks like you got the VR2 hooked up with it. Gran Turismo 7?
Absolutely, yeah. This is the Fanatec Racing Simulator for Gran Turismo 7, direct drive feedback. It's got the new PSVR 2 on it, and probably the most incredible experience of the basement.
That's insane.
You know, Bose surround
You got the
sound.
Bose around it. I was gonna point that out.
The butt kicker for the rumble of the seat.
Oh my gosh.
So a real simulation.
It really is like driving we gave a little bit of a try last time. I love this. PS4 kiosk.
Facebook pickup, I cleaned it up, put some lights behind it, did a wall mount PS5, and it's a great placeholder for the Gran Turismo, and then next to it is the Street Fighter 6.
So is this where the PS5's connecting?
It is currently, yeah.
Okay. I just love the creativity. Like there's so many ideas here. This part of the kiosk that normally you can't really use, you maximize the heck out of it. It looks beautiful. Like,
thank you.
That's insane. Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
And this is the PlayStation collection, and this is something that I think we're going to come to a deal on today. The entire thing. So I'm extremely pumped up about it. Now that the quality and the condition is insane. You can see, like, here's just Parasite Eve PS1. It's like glossy, and I'm struggling here to find a game that looks any different. We've just been perusing through a little bit. There's the second one, again, just pristine. You know, you've got Folklore for PS3 up here, and I'm just choosing randomly at this point, but everything complete and minty. So tell me about how you acquired a collection of this quality.
So I've been, working on this my whole life. I mean, I've loved games my whole life, 30 years of collecting. Yeah. But, with watching what you guys are doing with the garage sales and picking up stuff, I've delved into that myself. And did it, great thing to add a lot of these games over just the last 5 years. And, I focused on all the classic PS1, 2, and 3 games. I got a great collection of PSP and Vita and some of the limited edition games. And it's just been a ton of fun to, collect for. And now moving on to some pinball, I think.
Yeah, so you're shifting. You're still collecting. You're just shifting your focus, which is awesome. There's a focus in this game room, which I love, on practicality and like hangouts and parties. Now, this is something that I think is a must for game rooms. Having things laid out, ready to go, and ready to get right to playing is a great way to have a great time hanging out with friends, playing games, and actually be able to maximize your space as a game room. I'm definitely taking notes. I'm in my game room right now, and it's a bit of a mess at the moment, so if you see any obvious improvements that I could make, please let me know in the comments down below. It's really cool to see just the way that you've set everything up. You can just come down here and get playing. Like, we've already been playing with these pinball machines in here, which are insane. Obviously, this one here, the digital, is glorious, and you're telling me you built this from nothing.
Absolutely, yeah. So up here in Michigan, we got to find a lot of good things to keep busy during the winter time, and
Yeah.
this was my project last year.
That's so cool.
What I did with this is found a Stern cabinet, the Star Wars cabinet, online, and then bought all the hardware, the legs, the lockdown bar, added a couple TVs.
Okay.
I have the laptop inside powering it, but what's probably most impressive is that it's a surround sound feedback virtual machine, meaning that you hear the ball bouncing around the cabinet, on the rails, and even using digital and analog converters, allowing you to pull the analog plunger, and then it's shown digitally on the screen.
Yes.
So it's been a ton of fun, you know, building this, doing
Can
the
feel
software.
the force.
Right.
And then he mentioned it, but Stern is a huge keyword when talking about this pinball machine and the others that we're about to see. Stern is pretty much the big boy when it comes to pinball. They're basically the Caterpie of YouTube videos. But seriously, definitely look out for Stern pinball machines if you can find them for cheap. There's plenty of other brands, but Stern is definitely the most highly regarded.
Truthfully, this stuff will never hold up to the real Stern pinball machines. I mean, this is the real deal. These are so cool, but I will have to say that this was a great hobby to keep me busy, and I got a lot of respect and appreciation for these Stern pinball games.
Yeah, so, and part of the reason for selling the PlayStation Collection today is another Stern pinball.
That's right, yeah, I got the Mandalorian pinball coming in tomorrow. I'm excited about it.
You gotta have us back out for that.
Absolutely.
That is very exciting. And then you can see behind, like, even maximized here. Yeah. Like, just maximizing the space even more with the Nintendo powers, the comics. It looks nicely displayed. Everything's colorful. Everything looks good. I want the Stormtrooper. All these comics were actually from his childhood, which was really cool to see that he kept them and then proudly is displaying them in the game room. And actually quite a lot of pieces in this collection are childhood pieces for me. You know, the red Game Boy SP was my first SP right there, and that was such a game changer. I remember just being mind blown at the backlit screen and just how revolutionary that was. So there's a lot of special pieces in my game room as well, and I love that he did the same thing in his. But I didn't collect everything as a child, so now might be time to peruse his collection a little bit and see if there's anything that maybe I could add to my collection today. Alright, so we've officially made it to the Nintendo room, and this is my favorite room. Specifically, I just love the displays. How did you find all these displays that you're putting these games in? What do you got these Game Boy games standing on?
These displays that you see came, I think, from Amazon, and they were nail polish holders.
I've heard that.
And so they fit perfectly, and you get to see all that, you know, cool artwork on the cartridges and present real well with them.
Oh yes. Yes, that is legit. You've got the curved monitor here. That thing's giant, glorious. Do you game on that a lot?
I do, yeah. So game
Okay.
on that, it's hooked up to the simulator, the racing simulator in the other room.
Here's the Nintendo setup. You got Mario RPG. I'm so excited for the remake of that coming out. Dracula X is up here. Just lots of notable titles. Again, like everything else, great condition, beautifully displayed. I love how that's set up. Another the Turtles corner right here with the pinball. I know, we're playing that before we leave. Check this out. I love that. The Wii U kiosk, how'd you get this?
So that was another Facebook marketplace, you know, guy in Chicago selling it. I think a former store employee, and, you know, bought it right out of his garage, cleaned it up, and I hooked up a Wii U to it, a 64, SNES, GameCube. So they're all going with it, and any cartridge you see in the room, you can plug into this kiosk.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's the thing about all of this stuff, that when you got it originally, in many cases, it didn't look the way it does now.
Oh,
like
no.
You maxed it all out. You cleaned it up. You hooked up the TVs. Like
Absolutely. In fact, that to me is like the therapeutic process of this collecting, is to take something that was maybe junk in someone's eye and to clean it up and kind of restore it. And
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Now this is the shelf I'm most interested in. It holds a ton of Pokemon items, and almost everything here, I want it. I'm currently in the middle of a Pokemon pursuit, which is our series where we search for Pokemon games, systems, cards, and so much more in hopes of completing my childhood dream collection. So on the shelf, there's some Pokemon things that I definitely want. Plus, I have this side collection where I want to get every single Nintendo handheld ever made in its original box. There's the Metroid 3DS XL, that thing's glorious. You even got Pokemon Green, which is one that's on my Pokemon Pursuit list. And I mean, this whole case is just amazing with the Soul Silver, Heart Gold, big box countertop displays. And then I love the way you set these up. Where did you get these displays for GBA games? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was just by chance. The gentleman was selling it at a garage sale. He had a couple of Amiibos in them at the time. I brought them home and discovered that the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance fit in there perfectly with the protective sleeve. And
oh man,
you know, just a great way to again show that album art. And
it's beautiful.
It was originally something out of a K Jewelers. It was selling, you know, earrings or something out of here, and I found a way to put a little spacer in there and
that's legit.
Bring in all these, you know, cool Game Boy games, and I thought just a fun way to display them.
You got an engineer mind, and we got a crew member named Matt the Engineer who I think would resonate very well with the way that you think. And my mind's never had that, so like I'm trying to take as many notes as I possibly can for my game room. You've done incredibly well. It's funny, the last time we were here, it was mostly just this room, and it looked different. The racing thing was in here. Didn't really have the pinballs going on, so you can tell that you've been putting a lot of effort into it, and I love it. But now it's time to make some deals. So we're gonna start with the PlayStation games, and then we'll see if there's anything that we can maybe get from this room. But we'll see.
Can we just get it all?
I mean, I don't know. All right, so deal number one is here. He reached out to me, texted me, because we had previously connected at my garage sale, like I mentioned, and said, hey, I'm selling this thing. I'm gonna list it on Facebook. I'd really like to sell to you. And I said, all right, let's make this thing happen. The thing that made it easy is he had everything entered into the GameEye app, so the values were already sorted out, fully organized, super easy for me to look at. And the value was, top line was right around $13,000 before fees. He made his offer, I made mine, and we ended up settling for basically $7,200. He's throwing in some bonuses on top of that. What I knew with his collection is that everything would be in fantastic condition, which just makes it a lot cleaner and a lot simpler on my end, so I'm willing to pay up more for this type of collection.
And he's a nice guy.
And he's a super nice guy. We really wanted to come and hang out and see the ultimate game room, and it is so much better, even better than last time, which is blowing my mind. So it's just a win-win deal. We love hanging out. So one of the highlights for me on this collection is definitely the Vita. I mean, there's just, as far as like average value goes per game and just desirability, Vita is like at the top end, right up there with like Sega Saturn and Sega CD. You know, you've got all sorts of goodies, Dragon Ball Z, even some of these are sealed, which is crazy. There's the Jack and Daxter collection. Almost any notable game has value for Vita, you know, especially these anime type games here. Yeah, the Trails of Cold Steel are nice. I mean, everything there is nice. The limited run stuff mixed in. I mean, it's just endless and it's beautiful. And I'm very excited about this Vita collection. Only a couple of them have like reprinted cover arts. Most of them are like original. And even if they're not complete, they're still minty fresh.
What kind of Vita do you like collecting?
So for me, it'd be stuff like the Spider-Mans and the stuff that I would be highly likely to play. There it is. Mortal Kombat would be fun. The Jack and Daxter collection, like, that would actually be my top, like playing these old PS2 type games that I've always wanted to play but haven't gotten around to, in racing games, of course. Armored Core, I didn't notice these before. 4 and 5 right there. And they're making a sixth one, which is pretty exciting. But those, if you don't know, all of them have value on every system, and they've really shot up in the last couple of years especially. So he's selling those ones at a good time. The Dragon Ball Z's got a nice collection here. Those are always solid. It's actually crazy that some PS3 stuff is starting to develop some value and become uncommon. Lollipop Chainsaw being another one. And then the PS1 games, I pointed out some of the nice stuff. Some that I didn't point out were the Medieval 1 and 2. These were some of the first games I found at a garage sale as a kid, and was like, wow, I did not know those were worth anything. They might have been worth 20 bucks back in the day, but they're worth more than that now. And then we move on to PS2. Ace Combat Zero is one that a lot of people don't know about. Dark Cloud 2. DBZ Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Drakengard 2 is up there as well. And then, I mean, just everything so clean. The Manhunts are definitely games to look for right there. It's a beautiful collection. And then we still got this case over here with, I love this top row, the Mortal Kombat collection, the Guitar Hero, you know, all these collector's editions up here. Parappa the Rapper, that's one of the early games I found too. And then you got the Third Birthday, so Parasite Eve. Which a lot of people don't realize, you know, there's another one on PSP. We're gonna get it packed up, loaded in the van. I wonder how many bins it's gonna take. I guess we'll see. We'll do a quick little,
That's my guess.
5? I'm gonna say 3. No, 4.
Fine.
All right, it ended up being 6 bins, but we have a couple more deals to hopefully make back here. So there's actually some Apple stuff and some Bose stuff, which, you know, if you watch the channel, you know we sometimes dip into this stuff as well, and some of the stuff we could maybe actually use for the business. So there's this Airport Extreme. What are you thinking on that? This one works?
It does, yeah. So it's a 5 gigahertz router, 20 bucks.
Done. 20 bucks. This is the Bose, and the speakers are in here. So it's got power supply. Yeah, what are you thinking on the Bose setup here?
70 bucks.
I'm good with that as well. This here, Apple Time Capsule.
I'd say 30 bucks for you guys.
What do you think, Sky Guy? See, we got the thumbs up. All right, 30 bucks.
So the HomePod, that one got shorted out. I think we had electrical surge at the house. It was a $300 speaker. I can't fix it. It's beyond my repair. I'll let you guys have a project for 20 bucks.
All right, we'll do it for 20.
If you guys wanted both of those items, I would say 20 bucks.
Done. And I think we have a few more gaming items to look at in the Nintendo room. I've really had my eye on the Gengar. It's a custom Game Boy backlit USB-C. I love that thing, and I want it for the Pokemon Pursuit collection. But you threw a couple items on this desk as well that you might be willing to sell. So tell me what you're thinking. 3 Switch games, which I absolutely love this game, by the way. What are you thinking? PSP Go, Switch games?
So I'm thinking 20 bucks each on the Switch games. The PSP Go, because it's exceptional condition, I mean, it's so clean, no scratches on the screen.
Yeah,
it comes with
clean.
the PSP Go original case, charger, everything. I gotta ask for 100 bucks on that because it got some games loaded and just super clean for a collection.
I think that's reasonable, as long as you got the other end of the charging cable.
Absolutely, yeah, I got it
Okay.
upstairs. I'll include that.
Okay, and then how much, this is a Vita grip for, is this the 2000 model one?
That's for the 2000, the Slim. Yeah, so the plastic grip for that. And then I also got a Switch grip on this guy here.
Okay.
And so, I mean, if you wanted both of those, I'd do 10 bucks for both.
All right, so 10 bucks total here. Then we had 20 a piece, I'm good with that. So 160, 170 in addition to our 160 over there. So we come to an agreement on this pretty random lot of stuff, but I think it will definitely help to justify pulling and hopefully buying this item from his collection. And this for me right now is kind of the grand finale. This is, yeah, let me throw this in there. Backlit, USB-C charging, if once you take the battery port off right there. And I absolutely love the design of this, the color, everything about this is beautiful, and you even have the original box. Now you're saying you paid $175 for it. Are you good if I add it to the Pokemon Pursuit collection and pay back your original cost, $175?
Absolutely. You guys have been so generous today.
Let's go.
Buying the whole collection. I'm happy to do that for you. It's a sweet
Dude, thank
piece,
you so
and
much.
I don't think there's a better way to play these retro Pokemon games on any kind of hardware.
Yeah, look at that. I love that. We'll have to get one of these to go with it, but $175, we're gonna add that to the Pursuit collection. I'm very excited. Now it's at this point that I ask a bold question. How much do you want for all of the Nintendo stuff? That question made us talk for quite a bit because some of the items in the collection have really more of just a speculative value. And in large collections, it can become really difficult to come to an agreement with things like that, especially, you know, when we're getting into that $15,000 value range, even up to $20,000 value range in this case. All right, he's going up to grab the charging cable for the PSP Go, and I really tried to work something out on this part of the collection, but it kind of sounds like that might be for another day. He may be interested in selling it to us down the line, and I really tried to get maybe a couple pieces here and there, but I respect it. He wants to keep it together and really get things fully cataloged and get a good idea before making a deal. He does have most of it, all the games cataloged, just doesn't have the systems, some of the promo items and stuff like that. So I don't think we're going to be able to come to a deal on anything, though I might make one last final offer on that. And I might be aggressive. I might offer like $500 for that thing. Said it's like mint in there, and I'm trying to collect every handheld ever made in the box. So that could kind of start the excitement towards that collection. So we'll see if he'll take my offer. But unfortunately, after offering, he declined. But his reason was actually very fair. This was one of his first items that he ever bought, and he had just put his 3DS eShop software on it right before that eShop closed down, so it made sense why he wanted to keep it. But we loaded up everything into the van, played a little bit more pinball, and drove back here to the game barn.
In case you're wondering how we get collections to the barn, this is how.
Max capacity right now. This collection as a whole has some of the best quality pieces of its kind, so I'm excited to sell off some of these pieces to a lot of other collectors. In fact, I'll be doing a massive Whatnot auction on the evening of July 7th with a bunch of these games and also a giant collection of sealed limited Switch games that I just got in, plus so much more. But now it's time to add this glorious piece to my collection. It's a little side tangent to the Pokemon Pursuit series. But in future episodes, we're going to be going to a bunch of garage sales and hopefully adding a bunch more items to the Pokemon collection, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, you can check out one of these videos here because YouTube knows you and they know you're going to like them. Bye.